TikTok. Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Swoony Scone Society live show. I mean, yeah, we were doing the other one before, but we didn't have an official name, and so it feels official, bringing together the Swoony Readers and Tea and Biscuits with Tara and B. B will be here soon. She's having some issues, but she will be here in just a moment. But I'll just let everyone do quick introductions and initial thoughts. Oh, so sorry, Dana.
No, it's okay. I can. There you go. I see you.
Initial thoughts and ratings on the book.
So I am gonna go with I think a 4-star. Well, definitely we'll decide. It's not going to be higher than a 4-star. That's for sure. It didn't have the 5-star vibes for me. And yeah, so I just don't think 4-star or maybe a 3-star.
Okay.
It's my turn. Hi guys, I'm Karita. Okay. She Dreams in Words is my username on YouTube and Instagram. This is my least favorite Ashely Posten, unfortunately, so far. But I'm gonna give it a 3. Initial thoughts. I'm excited to see, how the next one goes. No.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dana. You can find me on YouTube at Dana Ella, Instagram at Dana Ella Reads. This is my first Ashely Posten full length novel. I've read just one of the little novellas in the. Is it Improbable Meet Cute?
Yeah.
In that series. So I don't know. I was, I think, hoping for more than what I got. I'm gonna go with a 3. And I could be talked up or down. So we'll see. My initial thoughts, I think, is just I didn't really feel super connected and invested. I think super much in the romance of it all. So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kaylani from Kaylanisimplyme on Instagram and YouTube. I agree. I have read an Ashely Posten, a full length, and I loved it. And so I think I had high expectations. And this one just didn't quite hit the mark. I'm also landing at about a 3, I think. Same as Dana. I could be convinced up or down, honestly. I just feel like the writing had some really pretty lines. And there was some really, awesome quotes in there that I was like, wow, that, feels very relatable. But in regards to, the actual romance, I just wasn't convinced. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. All right, let me just quickly run through these comments. Hello, Kristen. Hi, Liz. Hi, Josephine. Amy. Hi, everyone. Not finished at about 80%, but I have thoughts. Yeah. Thinking 3 to 3.5, just not believing this romance. It's a bit cringe. Understandable. Gave it a 2.
Yeah.
Still not horrible, but not great.
Yeah. But also felt.
I'm thinking a 3 or a 3.5. Okay. I really enjoyed the 7-year slip. Liked the writing, had potential, but just started going in and out. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like the author relied too much on being able to see what we hear each other's thoughts and not enough on the on page.
Physical.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just gonna go ahead and hop into the next question and then see where we feel. What we feel. Do we have least favorite and favorite characters? Good Lord.
Just read it.
That made sense. Favorite or least favorite characters is what I was trying to say.
They're all just kind of mid.
I think I really liked her best friend.
Yes.
Okay.
She seemed like a good character. I wanted a little bit more from her. And then I don't know.
It's just, yeah.
I feel like there weren't like, I finished this a couple days ago, and for me, that's a long time to try and lock in these details. But I feel like there weren't like, for me, too many really like, wow, I loved that character, or really any that I was like, oh, I don't like it. Like, it's like overwhelmed, underwhelmed. I was just whelmed, like with the characters. Like they were there, I was there.
Mhm.
But I mean, I did enjoy, I think, like her best friend, like Tara said. But I also agree, like I wanted more from it. I just like, I think a lot of the characters just didn't feel super like fully realized. I don't know, like for the reader. And Karina hit, I think, no, Kaylani, I think he said.
Hey, so sorry. And I interrupted. If my internet's terrible, I'll just hop off and join the chat because I don't want to ruin the conversation. I'm so sorry. I'm in the mountains. It's been really spotty. So I'm so sorry. Anyway, sorry.
worries.
Dana, what were you saying?
Well, I just think, I think Kaylani had said that like there was so much relying on the internal, like the dialogue between them. I feel like it kind of just like didn't give you that I don't know, like that push and pull, like angstiness. Sometimes like when you're like just like, oh, like what are they thinking? And it's like, well, exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah. And I just, before we continue, I want to go back and so Bacon give her initial thoughts and ratings.
You're so kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for me, it was a really solid 4 stars. I really enjoyed the small town aspect. I liked the beachy feels. It reminded me a lot of myself growing up because I grew up on the coast of North Carolina. So that was really fun to sort of revisit that. We had hurricanes and all that stuff. But yeah, I have a sense that maybe some of you, based on what Dana just said, I didn't find the romance as compelling. I really enjoyed their relationship. And there was like that big twist where, they get to the moment where she decides the title of the song and it's like the snap, it's severed. And I remember myself being like, I didn't want it to end. But yeah, so, and also really loved the fact that we read 2 books back to back where mom has dementia. Super fun.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. I was talking to somebody on Instagram. They're like, "Are they all going to be like this?" I was like, "No, I don't think so."
I was going to say, like, one of the questions at the very end could be like, who did the dementia better?
Mm.
That might be too much.
Who did the
Right.
Who wore it best?
I meant wrote it.
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
That's wonderful. All right. I'm out, guys.
We'll talk about that at some point.
Liz is not afraid to answer the question.
I was gonna say, I have an answer to that.
Well, honestly, since people are answering that in the chat too, and then I'll say I think Abby did as well.
Yes.
Because it was much more heartbreaking
Getting
to see mom like normal and then seeing the decline. In a way, it was much easier, the fact that she had already declined, because you're kind of waiting for the shoe to drop. Personally, that was my personal. I'll stop talking.
I feel like there's a lot more on-page moments in the other book, like kind of seeing it actually affect. Whereas this one, it was kind of like glazed over almost, it felt like. Anyways, we don't have to get into it, but that's how I felt.
But I also feel like they were in different stages too, so I think that makes a lot more sense. She had more good days than she did, whatever her bad days were categorized as, because she was so early on in her diagnosis, which makes sense. But I just feel like it didn't have the same emotional impact that I think that she was wanting it to have, especially I think coming off of somebody that just wrote something that had, such a poignant storytelling aspect to it. Whether you loved or hated the book, like Abby's book, I feel like that one still like delivered in that emotional aspect with the dementia more than this one did. But I think for me it's just like the characters all felt very surface level. Like She didn't
Yeah.
quite dig deep enough in any one character to make it feel like I had like an understanding of who they were, and it didn't feel satisfying by the end to be like, okay, they got what they wanted, because I feel like I never really understood what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Gigi becoming a singer. I was like, did I miss the when did that happen? Like, was she was a big singer and I missed that part? Like, yeah.
She
I
was
knew
just
she
like
wanted
alluding.
more, but I didn't know that she wanted to be a singer.
I felt like that was coming only because like the female main character I feel like she said multiple times like her voice is like so incredible, and if she had gone to, where'd she go, Juilliard, is that where she went? She was like, or wherever she, Berkeley. She was like, if she would have went with me there, like she would have been, you know, this big, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, like I felt like it was, and that's the thing, is like I felt like so many things in the book just were like, yeah, okay, this is coming. I do just want to say one of the craziest things to me was how they went into like full lockdown, crazy for a cat one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A one, and we're going into like survivalist mode. I was like, that was, I think just for somebody growing up with hurricanes, that was like the wildest thing I'd ever heard. I was like, okay, yeah, totally.
You had to add something.
Yeah.
So high stakes.
Speaking of
do you even need
characters,
sandbags at a category 1?
No.
No.
You're living, laughing, and loving through a cat one.
I
know. I'm sorry, what, Karina?
So that's when you have the parties, the hurricane
Yeah,
parties.
yeah. Like I know like they were in the OBX, so it's like more of like island, but even like Key West out here, this is you're doing your thug dizzle with a cat one. Like that was just like the funniest thing to me when I was like reading it. I was like,
yeah,
okay, ma'am.
I also think it's interesting, speaking of characters, which doesn't really make a lot of sense in this context because we did read them out of publication order, like that we would normally do, but we did get a cameo from somebody in another book. And it only so happened that I happened to have read that book and was able to catch up on the cameo. It was from the 7-Year Slip, but I thought that was interesting because I didn't think any of her books were connected.
I'm glad you caught that.
You didn't catch it?
I read that book like 2 years ago. Absolutely not.
Well, actually, it was really interesting because I caught it and I was like, wait, that's the main character's name? But they kept bringing up something.
Oh, like, the name. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to say anything because it is kind of a big thing that you read about in the 7-Year Slip. So I'm not going to say who it was, like the names, but it was very small. You had to like catch it. I was like, oh, wait, that was his name?
I'm excited.
I can't wait.
I kind of want to know too, like what, like the dad was obviously not great, but then the mom, like, what's her name? The main character's mom was like, he knows what he did. I was like, well, I want to know what he did. What'd he do?
Oh yeah, Sebastian's mom. I mean, dad.
Oh,
dad. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like that was just thrown in for like for nothing, to be honest. Yeah, because we didn't really get any backstories like you guys have said. So I like really did not connect with any of these characters. I could care less. Couldn't care less about the romance.
I felt like I was just reading to read it. Like it wasn't like I feel so compelled I have to pick it up and I can't wait, you know?
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
It really was surface level, I think, in like every aspect with like every single character.
Yeah.
Like even like how when we were just talking about like the mom's decline, and not to like pit this against Abby or anything, but I think in that one we had, at least as like my perspective on the reading, like it was just like that one had such a more emotional thing with being like you saw so many of the bad days, you know, and like how it's like even, you know, just how it was like she never kind of got that moment of like ever getting that like moment, right? But like in this one it was like she had like little moments, but for the most part, like they were able to really like have like some really great days to make their last like memories together. And then it was like, you know, the time jump or whatever. And then it was like, well, and I was like, oh, like
very abrupt.
Yeah. It felt like, you know, like the end of Coco when they're like, now don't get me wrong, that one's going to make me cry every time. I love Coco. 10,000 Okay. But like, you know, when it's just like singing with Grandma Coco and the next thing you know, and I felt like that's what she was trying to do with this one. And I didn't get that heartbreak, emotional. Yeah. Gut
I
punch.
almost think there were too many characters. Like she was trying to do too much in a sense and didn't give us enough to like feel invested. At least for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but
Yeah.
No, I felt the same way.
Can I say one last thing?
Sure.
I did like her dad. Because we did get to see his patience, and she even pointed it out in the book, like, you know, this isn't his first time kind of dealing with her mom's kind of memory slipping away. So I guess he's my favorite. I don't know. I don't have a favorite, unfortunately.
I think honestly, the dynamic between the FMC's mom and dad was like one of the best parts, truly, you know, because like when she was, didn't the mom like tell her like, you know, just make sure your dad's okay.
Yeah.
You know, when everything happens, make sure he's okay. Don't worry about me because he's gonna worry about me. Like he's got this, like, you know, and honestly, I was more invested in their love, I think, than the main characters.
I think the thing that frustrated me though was that, like, we're talking about something that's, you know, a very large scope in regards to dementia, but I felt like instead of it being like this sad, poignant thing that was happening, it felt like a plot point. Like she only had 2 bad days. The one where she had, you know, the Folgers in the oven, but the only other one was when she was alluding to having known some other woman that eventually came back to be, you know, his mom. So it was like it was more of a plot point than it was like this sad thing that was happening to them, and more like she was using it as a device to get you to the end of the story. And I didn't like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the only other one I can think of is the middle of the night where she grabs the keys.
Oh yeah, he's like, where are you going? And she's
That-
like, do that thing.
That was the one. She was like, I have to get to Amy.
Oh,
She didn't know who Amy was.
Well, and there was another time where she couldn't remember somebody's name, or she couldn't remember something, or you know. And for me, because we're sort of going through this right now with my mom, who's, you know, she's borderline. She's not technically. It felt actually more real because of where, like, my mom is kind of like this book as opposed to Abby's, where she's much further along. And it's interesting because it really resonated with me because it's these teeny tiny things, and the main character talked about it, like you're kind of going, did that mean something? Was that something? Is this better? Is this a better day? Is this a worse day? Like, you're not always sure. And I felt like Ashely Posten really nailed it in terms of just the beginning, where these tiny little things, but they niggle in the back of your mind, and they're always kind of playing, and you have the sense of dread. And like the other day, my mother and I are on the, like, she was having a great day, totally normal. We're walking down the driveway. She picks up a leaf off the driveway and hands it to me. She's like, is this yours? I'm like, no, this is not my leaf. And she's like, but it's not real. I'm like, no, this is a real leaf. Like, it was like little weird things like that. It will happen occasionally, and then you just kind of play it, and you're like, what does that mean? Like, and it just, so anyway, that's just an example of how, I agree. The jump at the end was definitely it was unfortunate, but I feel like, at least for me and where I'm at right now, this really nailed the feelings. So anyway, that's just my take.
Thank you for sharing.
This is my first Ashely Posten book. I think it was super adorable. I didn't feel like I did feel like it could use some more spice, and I had not landed on my final rating. I was thinking a 3.5 or a 4. Still very good. I agree with Tara. Everyone was mid. Nothing too bad or good, I guess. Yeah. Favorite was Gigi. Least favorite was the female character.
I feel like we barely got. That says a lot, because I feel like Gigi wasn't even like on page a lot. We barely got to see her, so that's pretty funny.
Didn't really care. They were just fine.
Yeah.
The female main character was a brat. I felt like she expected too much to just happen, and she push the big decisions onto others.
I was really disappointed at the end when, the hurricane. She's like, well, I guess you better go. I was like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
Offer to have him, stay and batten down the hatches with you or something, and give him the option. It was like, these third act breakups, I'm over them.
And I like a third act breakup, but this one that didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And I typically enjoy it. Like, yeah, give me the drama. Oh my God, you're broken up. I know you'll be back in 10 pages, and that's fine with me. This one though didn't have that same, I don't know. I think it's like there just wasn't enough of a catalyst, I think, for her to have a reason. Like, why are you pushing him away like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since you've been in his head for some time. Like,
that
how he feels about being pushed away.
Yeah.
How he feels about being pushed away, how he feels about you, how he feels about being there. Like, you know these things. And I think that honestly was like one of the irritating parts about that breakup. It was like, this would have been a perfect book to not have a third act breakup. Like, just because like you do have so much a better understanding that we don't get typically in books, that at that, like, through the whole thing up until the end, just because you don't get the luxury of being literally inside somebody's head, but
it was also kind of like B was saying, it was like, you should go now. And then he shows back up and she thinks that it's a circumstantial thing. Like, she's like, oh, the bridge went down, but I shall have you back now. I love you. And it's like, hello. And it wasn't until after she was like, did the bridge really go down? He was like, no, I just came back for you. Oh, okay, cool. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
They're like, all right.
Oh, sorry. Go. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, we finished the song, so he must want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think she was in that moment. She was like being a pick me girl. Like, she wanted him to do, like, make it clear and evident. But it's like, he's been showing you that.
Yeah. Like, if anybody's been aloof, it's been you, babe.
Yeah.
And when she goes to name the song, and I think he was disappointed, even though he told her that she could. Do we ever know for sure what the title is?
No, it makes me mad.
I think they said it was Sounds Like Love.
The dad said it sounds like love.
Said it sounds like love.
And they looked at each other.
They were like,
and then Jesus' song at the end, it sounds like love. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, the last chapter I thought is entitled it, isn't it?
It might say it. Yeah, it is called Sounds Like Love. Sounds Like Love by Georgia Simmons, written by Joni Love.
Okay. That was the song.
In the audiobook, they sing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't sound very good when you're listening at double speed, I'll tell you that. I was like, oh.
When I slowed it down and went back after, I was like, oh, this is,
I wouldn't really say it sounded good at one. But that's just, I'm not a singer, so you might have said.
I can't carry a tune to save my life, so it sounded good to me.
I just think sometimes it just, like, I feel like it's less than normal, like, for my ears to be okay with just randomly getting a song in the middle of an audiobook. It's few and far between,
No prompting, nothing. It just starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you like her nickname then? Bird?
No.
Either bird, like what?
I was like, I don't know about this.
Songbird.
There's a name.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm gonna get on nicknames. Stop me right here.
Well, I was gonna say, I didn't even like Sasha. I'm like, can you stop calling him that? Like, I know that's what he wanted, but like, oh my god, just call him by his name.
Yeah, I don't know how. Well, I guess I don't know many Sebastians, but I don't know how Sasha comes from. Like, I know it's his mom's nickname for him. Okay,
like,
the one thing that really annoyed me is
the one thing
when he like he flew out there and like she's like, oh, she's at the revelry, is that what it's called? She's there and she's like, oh, they're talking, telepathically. She's like, oh, I have to go take care of something. It's like, oh, there's like 4 different points where we all knew, the whole room knew that was Sebastian. Like that's who you're talking to in your head.
Yeah, except for you.
So that's.
But also, can we go back to Sasha? So if Sasha was the nickname that your dear mother that you love so much was the only person to call you that, and now your lover in bed is calling you Sasha.
No.
That's weird when you think of it like that, because I never went down that path.
Me either. Oh my god, ew.
Now I'm there. Great.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like that's gross to me.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's gross. That's gross. No.
I just like okay, Bird, an interesting choice, but it made sense. Songbird, at least we had an understanding as to why Sasha did that. It was the lack of effort giving any indication, reason why, backstory. Why was Sasha the nickname?
Only because his mom gave it to him. And I think it was like, people call me Sasha who care about me. And the only person who ever cared about me was my mom. Maybe.
Yeah, but why did your mom choose that?
I don't know.
And that's what I need to ask
There's
Ash.
a few questions on the floor.
Yeah. If only we got a moment from Joni's mom, like at the end or something, like, oh, she called you that because of
Yes.
this. That would have been cute.
I wanted to know why they fought. I wanted to know, like, I just wanted to know things, and I wasn't told things. That upset me.
I like how we're still on question 2. So this is how we know that we have some things to discuss. But also, let me just talk about quickly the dollar bill. Like you dropped that line so early on in the story, and then it comes back, and it wasn't even that impactful. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just a meanie.
I thought that was sweet. I got a little teary-eyed. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so it's just me.
Because I didn't realize, like, Amy, like, I didn't make that connection. Like, that was probably the most impacted in the whole story.
Well, in a way, though, I agree with you, Kaylani, because I thought it was an interesting twist, kind of, but sort of far-fetched. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I know this is a romance, because I kept worrying, like, what if they're related? Like, somehow
Oh my gosh, yes, that was a fear.
Yes. Because I kept thinking, like, why is this connected? Like,
I also did, yeah.
Right? But I'm like, this is romance. They're not related. That they would never do this. There's no way they're related. I had to keep telling myself.
Yeah.
I'm not taboo.
I was hoping that it was actually going to be his dad, like his dad's dollar. Like, so that there could have been, I don't know, maybe some sort of something, because like we're going through this whole thing about like how she has this like idyllic, perfect upbringing, obviously like going through stuff with her mom now, and that's not anything anybody would want, but like, she's had like just a family full of love. And then we have Sash, who's had nothing, and I don't know, I was just hoping that like his dad was gonna come. In all honesty, I thought his dad was gonna come through, save the revelry, like, put on a benefit. Thing. Her mom was gonna get up there and sing with him, because that's where she first sang. I had thoughts and ideas on where this story was going, and she didn't do the ones I wanted. The other things I was like, oh, I bet she's gonna do this, and she did. But I just think she should have took some of my thoughts and put it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel like it would have been, because we didn't get anything from his dad. Like, it was just a mention, like, oh yeah, they just don't have a relationship. But I feel like if he were to come in and do some like grand gesture, then maybe that would be like the stepping stone for their relationship to like.
Yeah.
Well, even that grand gesture was mid, as they say, where he's like, he sent me a congratulatory bottle of something like scotch or something, even though I'm 6 years sober. And I'm like, you could have gone more into any of that story as well.
Yeah.
So many opportunities.
Yeah.
And she took none of them.
Right.
Or even like at this point, why'd you even drop in that they went to the Grammys and he saw him from across the room and made eye contact, and then just never saw him for the rest of the night? Like, okay.
Yeah.
She really just wanted us to know he was a scumbag.
Oh man.
Gigi went to school for singing and didn't do it because she had to go home. So not surprised, but I'm at 80% and I didn't feel the build over that. Category 1 be like rain, rain, go, go, coming another day. Sebastian. Sebastian, you found your dad and he was rich.
Valid.
I love it.
When the spice came in, I said, nope, can't actually believe I'm saying this, but I don't need nor want this sex between these two. Yeah.
Yeah, she could have left it out, to be honest.
I liked the way it was written, though. But I agree. Like, yeah, again, I liked their relationship more as like a friendship, quite frankly. But yeah, I mean, I really liked the way that it was written. But it was cute. It was like kind of beautiful. And anyway, I didn't write it down. So
Maybe that's because he used bird in there. So I was like, oh.
Not that part.
I was looking to the third act breakup, but it was way too blurry.
Good way to put it.
The jump scares for me when she'd sing, yeah. And then it was like, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, there was one part where like they were getting to the end, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna sing the song together," and I kept waiting. Then I felt like I was, preparing for a jump scare. I kept waiting to like pause my audiobook so I could slow it down, and then it never came. And I was like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah. I feel like this might be better translated in like a movie.
100%.
Yes.
Like this is like one of those weird instances where like a movie would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His nickname.
Sash.
I didn't like him either. Why would his name be Sasha? I don't know. I didn't think it was weird when they said his mom called him that.
Yeah.
My biggest beef was that they were musicians and they could name a tune or song in a few notes, but you can't guess the voice in your head.
That's
a good point.
Yeah.
And that he knew, but she didn't.
Yeah, like you've been talking about this man that you met in the balcony for freaking 3-4 days, and you're telling me you can't recognize his voice in your head?
right.
You kissed him, for God's sake.
Mind you, a voice that she's heard on records. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like the continuity of his character could have been a little bit better, like more streamlined, because he was such kind of a, into himself jerk in the very beginning when they kiss, and then I just felt like he was sort of a completely different person.
Yeah.
Maybe that was from the voice in his head. That was another thing, and I feel like this is nitpicky. But so many times, like when she's first hearing a voice in her head, she's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a voice in my head." Anyway, I'm gonna have coffee with my friend. Like,
yeah.
No, I thought I
Maybe
could
they were
be.
a doctor.
Yes.
I'd be in a padded room by noon.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I just thought it was so funny. Like the third or fourth time she hears it, she just happens to be playing the piano. She's like, "Oh, you again?" I'm like, "You're forgetting that you have a voice in your head."
Yeah.
She was too
Concerning.
chalant for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I mean, I guess the first time she was, drunk. So
True. We'll give her a pass for that one and that one only.
Oh my
Amy
god!
was on the same wavelength. She thought they were related too, which would have been a tragedy.
Right?
The way her mom was like talking about that guy, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, girl, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's why they had a falling out.
No.
There you go. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Let's not do that.
Tara just turned this into a dark romance.
Okay, also when you called her bird, my brain thought of Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse. My favorite scene was Gigi picking her up in a pickle costume.
That was
Oh,
funny.
That's good.
That was good. When she said screaming to me in an ancient language of tongues during the sex scene, I could not.
Okay, I don't remember that.
I blocked that out. I blocked that out.
Okay.
You.
I think I would hate having someone hear all my thoughts. Like, you can't just think your own without someone being in your private thoughts. Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And you hear a voice in your head, and your mom has her diagnosis, and not even an email to the doctor.
Yes. Like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like that one scene just was not necessary. We could have just taken out the whole book. It would have been fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I did like there's one thing that I can think that like I really liked though is that just like the theme of like life changes, like what you want in life changes. And I think me being the age I am and like looking back and like I had dreams when I was younger and then how life pans out and like you can kind of see like now they've changed. And I like that aspect and that's kind of like where the mom was at. And I thought that was interesting. Like I liked that like obviously dreams change as life goes on. And you're not the same person as you were when you were 20 versus, you know, now I'm 39 now. So like I'm like, ooh. So.
Well, and also Jo had said at some point, she's like, these were never exactly my dreams. Like these were the dreams everybody wanted for me. You know, and knowing that I think is for some people it's tricky to know the difference between your dreams for yourself and other people's dreams for you. Yeah. So I thought that was good. I thought that was really neat.
And then the mom being like, oh, I don't regret, you know, giving that up. But she's like, I do, but I don't, you know, because I've gotten all of this out of it.
Yeah.
So I liked that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm Joni because I'm gonna hate. I hate going to the doctor, so I had to figure it out. Yep.
Google.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google.
What's happening to me? Oh no.
A trusted source.
Honestly.
So Joni believes that a good song can fix almost anything. Do you have a song that you gravitate towards and why?
Fun question.
Oh, this is such a fun question. I love it. If I'm down, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If I'm down and I need a little pick me up, I either, during the pandemic, which no one wants me to bring up, I'm sorry, but the song, what is it, Lady Gaga? Because I had 3 kids and one was an infant or a newborn when we went to lockdown. And that song, oh, I've got stamina. And she goes on and on. And she's got, I'm like, it's me. I would just listen to that song on repeat. He was like, I have stamina. I've got stamina. But that always gives me energy if I'm feeling a little down. Or Stand by Rascal Flatts is a really good one for like power. So anyway, those are fun pick-me-up type songs that I love.
Oh,
I tend to gravitate towards sad songs because I'm just a sad girly at heart. But I think the song that for me resonates the most with me is actually my favorite girl, Renee Rapp, and it's called Bruises. And it's just like about how like all your friends and people around you can like they joke and they say things that seem like a joke at the time, but like I bleed black and blue, and so it's like on the inside like I'm really like sad and I'm hurt by a lot of things, but on the outside I'm like, oh, I'm just having so much fun, and so like that resonates with me. I don't know, I love that song.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to listen to it. I don't know that song.
Cool. I'm also the same. Like if I'm sad, I will listen to sad music.
Yeah.
You know. So but honestly, I'm such a Taylor Swift stan that like there's an album for every season of life and every emotion that I have. So
yeah.
Nice.
I'll go on to the next question, and then you guys can think about it for if you guys want to pick a song, and then if not, then you don't have to. Gold Dust Woman to make me feel powerful. Love it.
Fun.
So many songs, depends on the mood, but I love sad songs. Me too. So many Adele and throwback to the naughty 90s. Yeah. Very true.
Nice.
I do have a throwback jams playlist, which I love because I know all the song lyrics and the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a throwback, to be honest.
No, truly. 2000s music and 90s music, it's top tier, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Well said.
I feel like a lot of these questions we've kind of talked about. So I'm going to skip 1 and go to 5. Both Joni and Sebastian are struggling with burnout. How do you think that's the wrong affected? Okay, that's fine. How do you think this affected themselves? Oh my gosh, and the relationship, and how did they go through this? It's fine. I can type. Nobody look at that.
Wait, I forgot what it said. Wait,
I'm coming back, I promise.
You said about burnout.
Okay.
I mean, obviously with Joni, like her writer's block affected her career.
Mm-hmm.
So it like stunted her creativity, and she just needed like a change of scenery.
Yeah.
What better place than home?
Yeah.
I can't
Especially
speak for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that they were both so open to suggestions. I think that really helped. And I think the fact that they were both struggling with something similar made it feel like a safe space, you know, like you're going through this, I'm going through this. And like when she was talking about changing the tempo, and he was like, oh, like he immediately was just open to that, for example. I just really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I did kind of like how he talked about like how as a celebrity people talked at him and wanted things from him, but didn't really want him as an individual. And I think that obviously I'm no one's famous, but like I can, that feeling like you just feel like nobody's seeing like the real person that's underneath all of it. And so like I can feel like I can see how that could feel like I can't do this anymore. Like there's just too much of that going on. So
yeah, we probably felt like a loss of identity in a sense because of that.
Yeah.
And when he came to fame, he had just lost his mom. He was trying to prove something to his dad. Like he was kind of just spiraling out of control. And then like all these people want something from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had a sense, this again, talking about backstory, or maybe I just missed it, but I really did have a sense of, or I was confused about how famous he was, because I got this, he was a boy band guy, but I got the impression early on that he thought he was hot stuff because of the way that they first met, and that he was a big deal because he's up, by himself in like the private spot. So I thought he was this big deal. And then he's saying things like, well, I got to be a judge or a person giving advice on Bachelorette or whatever it was, something like that. And then you're like, oh, he's sort of a has-been, or like, where is he exactly? Like, I just didn't get a sense of where he was in his journey as a musician. So
yeah, like this was supposed to be his comeback.
Yeah, I think he was in that has-been territory because he talked about the comeback. I likened it to like thinking about like NSYNC before like they reunited to do like their little tour and stuff. I feel like some of them were doing like these really like smaller gigs, but I could imagine just like at the right time you walked into a certain place, like people would go crazy. Like personally, if I walked past JC Chazé, I'm gonna know exactly who he is and best believe. Hello, Mr. Chazé. Like, I will. Hello. I will be there. But yeah, I think he was more in that like has territory. What'd you say?
I said I'm gonna know who Lance Bass is. That was my favorite when I was younger. I don't know what that says about me.
What, my best friend, that was her favorite, and then she was sad later on. I'm like, you were never gonna have him anyway. Like,
right.
True story.
Of course, I was like that with Ricky Martin too. I was like, what?
I'm obsessed with Ricky.
Yeah.
Anyway. She said, what?
I found my song because
you did. Okay.
I feel like a classic, like Misery Business, Paramore.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I think I could sing that. Like, I think I know every word to that without the music. I think I could go.
Yeah.
Oh, Paramore. What a time.
Such a good one, Karina. Such a good one.
So, okay, Dana, when you're talking about like seeing JC Chazé, whatever, that reminded me of the scene in the book. I actually highlighted it because I thought it was funny. But I think it must have been like when they were out and about and people were like recognizing him and She made a joke about his height. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I do.
And
That
then
was funny.
we're like, yeah, actually, you're shorter. Shorter than he appeared to be, or something like that. Man. I thought I highlighted it. Oh, I highlighted like the scenes. Anyways, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
That one was
she's just
good.
trying to get him out of like
Yeah.
the situation, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, maybe not."
How quickly groupthink. They were like, you know what? You're actually not him. Ew. Like,
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else picked up. I'm so sorry.
You're
I didn't know we were moving on. But the way she described him, like tasting like Diet Coke, just really weirded me out.
I did not like that.
It was like he tasted like spearmint and Diet Coke, like 3 different instances. I'm like, does he drink water perhaps or something else?
she's a Diet Coke girly, apparently.
It was just strange because I've never heard anyone describe a taste like someone like after kissing them. You know, I don't know.
I love how
feel like
like
I've heard
every female main character in a book has the nose of a freaking hyena or something. He smells like bergamot and sage. Like, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I did absolutely love how her titles were chapters. Other chapters were songs. I did like that.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
I loved how they did that too, because it wasn't just like the title. It was like a couple
Like
words before the title, and the way it was like she took it on and like flipped it on its head and made it like perfectly tailored to the chapter. I thought that was so cool because that would never have occurred to me, you know. And she could have just done chapter titles and would have been cool. But I love how she did that. That was really neat.
Yeah. Definitely stood out.
He was giving.
Yes. I 100% saw that. What was that one house? And it was like, oh my gosh, it's not Road Rules, but what's the house one?
Real World?
Real World. I was like, is it like Celebrity Real World?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see Joey and AJ. I want to see a Joey and AJ show that they did last year.
I saw it. It was amazing.
Oh, I love it.
So
Yeah, it was very cool.
That looks so fun.
Yeah.
We got a Paramore lover in the house.
I do love Paramore too.
I thought it was funny that they convinced people in the town that he was just someone who looked like Celestia.
Yeah, like a doppelganger.
Yes.
So you're saying he's a smoker, tasting like Diet Coke mitts.
Is that the essence that you get?
Ew.
Ew. Oh.
Interesting.
They always smell and taste like something crazy. Their eyes are never blue. They're shining denim pools of out tears.
She did say his eyes, or in this one, I think they were cerulean, but I
Cerulean.
feel like she described them as like a blue she's never seen.
Yeah. I think the words were the people on whatever magazine were wrong. His eyes aren't cerulean. They're something along those lines.
Yes, that's right.
That's so funny.
Although I did read a book once where the character was like, they taste like character name. And I got upset because I'm like, you don't know what they taste like? You can't have it both ways.
That's great. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay. So I think that we had all kind of simultaneously decided that we didn't want somebody in our head. But if for one day you could be telepathically linked to anyone in the world, who would it be?
I have an answer.
Okay.
Well, can it be multiple? Because I would choose my dogs.
I was gonna say that too.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know anyone. Like, no, that's too personal and too much.
Too much.
So invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I would hear the exact things that I fear that I would hear, you know?
Be somebody that's not close to me, that isn't going to have any opinions about me or what I do or anything like that.
Gosh, yeah.
Like a famous person or, a fascinating, brilliant thinker or something. I don't know.
I would probably say my niece's daughter. Like, she's 2, and she just be diddy bopping around, bro. And I just be like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That would be my answer too. I would have to pick my son just because at this age, like, you don't really know what they're thinking, and I just want to know what's going on in that little brain of his.
Oh, I love it.
I can't think of anybody. It would have to be somebody I don't know.
Lance Bass.
Yeah.
And then plant in his head.
Taylor Swift, y'all.
That would be.
Yeah.
That's why.
She is the
it right there.
mastermind. So,
I just want to see what a day in her life is like, you know, like without the cameras, without
Yeah.
putting on a show. Like, what's going on in your head on one day?
Yes.
I'm sure it's probably chaotic in there. I mean, she does so much.
Yeah.
so much, but she's just like, I just feel like so artsy and creative. Like, she just like, you know, got to sing like one of her songs for the first time after owning like all her masters, because Travis had like a tight end university thing, and so she just like decided on a whim to be like, yeah, sure, I'll go out and sing. And like the band didn't have her music, and she just like took pen and paper and like wrote all the notes out and everything. It was just like, here you go. And I'm like, just to live inside such a creative brain, it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, truly.
Like,
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
I also think that my song is, I thought about it. I looked through my thing, but it's got to be the Chicks, and it's Not Ready to Make Nice. It just gets me. Like, yes.
Love that.
okay, I love that.
For fun.
Let's see. Josephine said my cat. I don't know what my crows are complaining about some days. They're so loud.
Oh my gosh.
That's right, Kristen.
You don't like what you find in there. Truly, I have to pick my dog. Although she always be bopping around, living her best life.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to hear all the blanket. Yeah. Lock me into that conversation.
Tell me what Khaleesi's thinking.
Yeah.
Love that song. All right, just the last two questions here. Any quotes that anybody wanted to share?
I have one that I really liked.
Okay.
Okay. Perhaps she would lose all her memories, and maybe she would become someone who didn't even recognize herself. But I carried her memories too, as did Dad and Mitch and Gigi and Vienna Shores and all the people who met her in this one too short life. We were all made up of memories anyway, of ourselves, of other people. We were built on the songs sung to us and the songs we sang to ourselves. I just love that. I thought that was so profound.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I do have one, and mine's short. It's just, it was at the very tail end of the story, but Grief is just a love song in reverse.
Ooh.
That one just like
I
hit.
love that one too.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just love this girl. I just had to one because I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I mean, sometimes it's like that.
I do have a scene I want to share because we haven't talked about it, but it was after an incident with her mother, and Sash was like humming to like kind of distract her mind and like calm her down. I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely tells her like a lot of times, like he's like, your brain is just all over the place. You know, like it's everywhere, and like he like when he's in there, he'll like calm it down for her, and like he's like, take a breath. And I did think that was very sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's not a quote, but I did enjoy, like with this book, how music kind of like can resurface memories. You know how they kind of were able, well, Ashely was able to kind of tie that into the story, and I think more towards the end. And I like the scene where she was able to feel like she still had her mom with that like that one leftover mixtape. I thought that was so cute.
Yes. Oh, that was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Little dance party. That reminded me of like Grace, you know?
Yeah.
No.
I did find my other one that I had taken a picture of, and it says, in that moment, I realized that music could be everything. It was the feeling of existing, dancing, and reveling in the pouring rain. It was magic, the kind of magic that whispered, "You have 100 years to live," and the joyful, infinite yelp that tricked you for a moment into believing that you could be infinite too.
Ooh,
Oh.
so good. Oh, yeah.
There really were some good like moments and quotes in this. If she would have just dived a little deeper, or maybe tried to not do so much, like maybe didn't try to make every single character feel very, very, very complex without actually giving us like their complexities of like why, you know. But there was so much potential because she clearly has some really beautiful writing with those quotes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, Chad, are you seeing this competition we're in with these rankings? Is this new? It is new.
Yeah.
Who's in first place? We can't see on this end, so let us know who's in first place.
They're ranking their comments? That's terrible. That's like pressure.
Top 3 or something?
Yeah, I think it's like off of like engagement on somebody's channel. Like, so how many, I guess, times you've commented on their channel or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they give you like 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild. What is that? That must be new.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still in beta testing.
Oh, okay.
It's still relatively, yeah.
Can you imagine if they did that to those of us on stage?
My last live show.
Right?
Have you guys all read the author's note?
Yes.
Talk about that. I thought that was,
and
I felt bad for like being so judgy. I feel like with her story because of how personal it was.
Yeah.
I thought that was a beautiful like ode to her grandmother and.
Well, I think that kind of echoes what we've been saying, in that the most compelling relationship was more the mother and father.
Yeah.
It wasn't the thing that was, I mean, even Ashely Posten, the most important thing to her from the story potentially was giving tribute to her grandmother and that aspect of it. So I feel like that came across.
If that was like the main focus of the story and we didn't get like Joni, like we could have enjoyed it. You know what would be fun is if she wrote like a novella of like surrounding the parents.
Like how they met, because she literally left everything to be with him.
Yeah.
They just met at the club. And then she was like, I'm never leaving because not only was everything else in the world happening in this book, so were wild horses.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about the wild horses.
Yeah.
Literally had hurricanes, wild Mustangs, and like live music, and just living, laughing, and loving their way through, you know, every situation. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like it's like like I just can't imagine somebody really having like these huge dreams to, you know, be a professional singer and go on tour and do all those things. And I know she said that, like, you know, oh, it wasn't for me, but then, you know, it came out as in, well, I do wish I kind of did it, but I don't regret it. But, you know, but it's like, I just can't really actually imagine somebody being like right on the step right before achieving their dreams and being like, wow, I saw a horse run through this beach town and I think I'll stay forever. Like, take a picture, pack your bags, and get back on the bus.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Liz was saying possibly flashbacks, very Notebook style,
Oh,
or like interview
the novella.
flashback.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
That would be good.
That would be 5 stars.
Yeah.
Right.
So. All right. This is the final question that I have. If I could click the dang thing, would be great. Has your reading changed or stayed the same?
I think mine stays the same. I think I'm going to keep it at a 4.
That's good.
I can't wait to hear what y'all said because I missed it. Well, I didn't want to be like, what did you say? But yeah, what was your original rating one? Thank
My
you.
starting was a 3.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna keep it.
My original was a 3. I think I'm gonna stay at a 3. Dana, tell us. Give it to us.
What did you do, Dana?
I was at a 3. I was at a 3.
Was.
I thought we were back to the friend zone Abby Jimenez again. I was
No, I was at a 3.
It's okay. We won't judge you.
No, it's just like I'm really trying to think because there were parts of it that I liked that just weren't the main romance, but it's like, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay at my 3.
Okay.
Because a 2.5 just feels too low for me on this, I think. I'm gonna stay at 3.
I love that Karina's profile pic is someone else who could read thoughts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Karina, good job.
Oh my gosh, that was not planned.
B, are you staying at a 4?
I think so, because I thought it had neat things to offer. I liked the premise. I would have loved for them to maybe had their connection, like when it fizzled out, more of a bang than a fizzle.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think honestly, if this had been reworked as like a friendship drama, it would have been good too. But like I said, I mean, there were some great quotes. It let me escape to the Outer Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting points. I thought it was solid. I enjoyed it, and it had some nice things to offer. So I'm gonna stick with 4. So yeah.
Our new favorite quote, Danella. Solid 3 now, not 3.5. Okay.
Oh.
Using my 3. My first instinct was a 4, and I think that's what I'll go with. Wonderful. I'm keeping my 2. I wanted to clean up a bunch of times.
That is so real,
Sounds
Christy.
like she's being generous then with her 2.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else anyone wants to touch on before we wrap this baby up?
No. I'm excited for the next one because
Yes.
I feel like it's only up from here. And my hopes and dreams, fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you. Our next one will be a novel love story on August 3rd on Dana's channel.
Dana's. Should be Dana.
Dana's channel. Thank you.
Dana.
On my channel, guys. Woo.
So yes, on Dana's channel, August 3rd, the first Sunday of every month. So we will be there to talk about a novel love story, which that one sounds super cutie.
Yeah.
Yes. I've heard
I'm
great.
excited.
Very
I'm
bucket.
very excited.
Yeah. Yay. Awesome.
And it
I'm
feels like
honestly
build,
excited
like,
for the next 3.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like a very good like end of summer romance to pick up too, as we're coming out of like the summer months into the fall months.
Mhm.
I feel like it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I have physicals for the next 2 months, so I'm very excited.
Yay. Gotta love that.
Oh, we can't wait to see all of you guys there. Make sure to go follow everyone linked down below on their YouTube and Instagram. Everyone's linked down below. And I think that's it.
Yay.
Yeah.
This
We'll
was
see you
lovely,
guys.
ladies.
Thank you guys.
So fun.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys in a month.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Enjoy your July.
Yeah.